I'd first like to introduce my team. There's Dana from Macedonia, Magnus from Denmark, Philip from Germany, Karen from the US, and myself, Alexandra from Romania. Our solution is Mahila Mobile. Mahila means woman in Hindi, and that's because that's what we want to do. We want to empower the illiterate women of India. The problem that we found is that it is the lack of access to information of illiterate women of India, which leads to really high birth rates among these women. Actually, illiterate women have in average 7 children compared to the 2 children that literate women have in average. The solution that we thought of is to come up with a completely innovative operating system for the mobile phones, especially designed to fit the needs of the illiterate women based solely on voice and images. The business model is that we would collect used mobile phones from the Western world, then we would equip them with this innovative education system, then we would sell them for really affordable prices to the illiterate women of India. We find this to have a very high impact, both at an individual level, because these women would have more access to information and thus become more empowered, and at a national level, through the social savings that the Indian state would have. Now I will let Karen continue.
Thank you, Alexandra. Now we've connected our thematic challenge of overpopulation to literacy of women. Illiteracy limits access to education and information, and without this, statistically, illiterate women will have a higher birth rate, an average of 7 children. We have identified the point where we can make a difference, and that's at access to information. Now in this day and age, mobile technology is a high growth source of information for developing world markets. But there's a significant gender gap between male and female phone owners. As you can see from our slide, it's at 31%. Now our solution is to provide a customized operating system on Android platforms for illiterate women. With access to information provided by this technology, illiterate women will gain the education and economic empowerment. Now statistically speaking, with this empowerment, they will have an average of only 2 children in comparison to the former 7. When aggregated, this total leads to slower population growth overall. Now I'll hand it to Philip to discuss our business model.
Thank you, Karen. The pointer, please. Thanks. So the beauty of the business model behind it is that it's very simple, but at the same time has a very high impact. So we get 3 parties involved. On the left-hand side, you can see the Western society. In the center it's us, Mahila Mobile. On the right-hand side it's illiterate women of India. So what do? We collect smartphones, disposed smartphones from the Western society. We take them, install our tailored operating system, and sell it at a very, very affordable price to the illiterate women in India. Side fact, every year in the US alone, around 50 million smartphones are disposed. So the market is actually very interesting. There are 100 million women in India who are illiterate and don't have a mobile phone yet. And if you want to target just 0.1% of that market, this will translate into 100,000 women. And actually this is a high growth market. The mobile phone market in India is growing at 35% per year. So since we don't produce the phones but collect old ones, we can offer it at a very, very low price. So the total unit cost amounts to 25 euros. $25, which includes marketing, distribution, everything we need. We sell it at 30 euros, which is still half of the price of our cheapest competitor. So we came up with a profit of around $500,000 each year, which is very profitable, so we still make a big difference. Now Magnus is going to tell you more about what the solution actually looks like.
Yes. What we have identified is that none of the existing mobile operating system caters to the needs of these women. So what are these needs? First, it must be easy to share these cell phones. Globally, 500 million women access mobile technology by borrowing handsets from their friends. And these are the most likely to go out and buy a handset next. Second, it must have an auditive interface because we've just established that these people are illiterate and they can't read text on the screen. Third, It must be easy to manage in terms of minutes and in terms of battery. These people can't run out of either, since that would be catastrophic. So let's look at a use case where Diksha, a woman in rural India, wants to find out information about color. First, she gets to the login screen, logs in on her user. Second, she gets to the app launcher interface. Take note of the button with the speaker symbol in the bottom right. This is so she can get any information on the screen read to her. Third, she chooses the health app and gets the information read to her. She sees the text and sees what text is being read and can thus over time improve her literacy. Now Anna is going to discuss our social impact.
Now I will speak about the social impact of what we are doing. Providing women with a mobile phone can be very beneficial for our society. Imagine that we are selling 100,000 units, thereby reaching 100,000 families. According to the UN Statistics Department, savings per unborn child are $1,200. By reducing the family size of one child, we can make a social impact of $1.2 billion. Actually, with providing women with a cell phone, they will feel much safer, more connected, more independent, and 40% of the women are going to have increased income. Karen?
Alright, in conclusion, we've identified that there are 133 illiterate women in India. We designed Mahila Mobile as a $1 billion solution to this problem. That being said, we're aware of the potential challenges, including women resistance to technology and generating awareness. So our next steps are to address these challenges. First, by truly involving our customer in product development in order to reach as many illiterate women as possible. We plan to continue developing customized value-added services and expanding to other promising markets. By following these steps, we, the founders of Mahila Mobile, believe that we can make a difference. Thank you for your attention, everyone, and we now open the floor to questions.
You don't have a microphone.
So you told us that you take the old phones and you want to install a new software on it. How difficult is this when you have so many different phones that you can install a new software? Is the solution you really want to offer to your customers?
First off, we're installing Android on the phones, which is on the phones already in a lot of cases, and which is already being customized to all these different phones. Android can be installed on iPhone, so we have that part of it covered. Then we only build an interface on top of it, so we get all the advantages of Android while giving all the advantages of cell phones to the woman, and that's what we believe is our main ability.
First of all, congratulations on a really well thought out and clearly presented presentation. How do you deal with the issue of what I learned earlier from you all, that the men tend to get the mobile phone in the family?
There are obviously issues in terms of... Should we? Yes. First off, we have done a lot of research on the main barriers to adoption among this demographic. We can target the cell phones as more as a way of empowering women, but also a way of empowering families. And when marketed in this way, mobile phone adoption among women in rural India and similar areas do increase.
I just want to add one point to that. We did some market research on basic pyramid women, and 65% of both men and women say that the mobile phone is necessary for emergency and security situations. That's something I think both men and women here in the room and here in the world can identify as necessary. So mobile phones can help with that.
I have one question. It has to be a smartphone, or have you think on traditional ones? Because you will find more volume of traditional phones, mobile phones that...
Yes. Sorry, but it's a PowerPoint PDF, so we have to click our way through it, not our phone. There are 98 million phones being disposed every year, and half of them in the US already are smartphones. And now think about how fast there are new iPhones, or new Samsung Galaxies. So you can think of people get rid of their smartphones very, very quickly, and there is a huge number of smartphones which are out there actually. And now we need 100,000 out of, in the US and Europe combined, 100 million. So we think it's a reasonable target size to address.
Thank you.
Question.
Yeah, I have one question. You here mentioned the operation system, but you don't mention what's the exact idea or application you want to use for the women.
Okay, 1 second, I can find this on the backup slides. All right, here is actually a portfolio of some of the value-added services. So we can think of these as apps that can be provided with our mobile phone that are tailored specifically to women. So some of the things we found in market include m-commerce, which is basically mobile commerce for unbanked women. Second is health, and this is a big one for us because we believe that once women have better access to information about HIV/AIDS, chronic diseases, outbreaks, they can take better care of themselves and their families. The third one is education, so this is where our device could even be used to increase literacy and to reduce the overall illiteracy rate in India and in other developing markets. And these are three that we actually came up as a team. One of them is a security hotline where they can just click to report domestic violence, call kind of like a 911 number. Second is a share your mind, so a network so women can connect with one another. And then thinking about entrepreneurship, as we all here are entrepreneurial, connecting women as a network in local areas. So these are all different apps we've customized, and of course, following next steps, we would do in-depth focus groups with the women to see what we can design for them.
I just wanted to emphasize that we don't want this to be just a top-down solution. We want it to be a bottom-up approach too, so that women feel like they have a say by using this application, so they'll be able to talk to the phone and say what their concerns are, why they're having so many children, what they wish for their children, and then maybe this information can be stored and collected and given to governments or NGOs who could better respond to the needs of these women.